Hey up YouTube. Well, we're out again. Once again, not ideal conditions. Very windy day down on Fuller Street today. We're out fishing. There's Blaine and myself. Blaine's just setting up. There was a lot of umming and ahhing as to whether or not we were going to fish today. It's blowing a bit of a hoolie down here, as you can probably tell from the water. And I don't know if you'll be able to hear it over the mic. But I got here early, so I cast out a 4-ounce lead, just on its own, a 4-ounce gripper lead, fully expecting within about 30 seconds for it to be back at my feet. And you know what? It held. I couldn't believe it. I was blown away. So instead of doing what I thought I was going to do, which was ring Blaine, tell him not to bother, I messaged him and said, 4-ounce grip, it's held bottom. Let's have it. So here we are. I'll roll the credits and I'll talk to you in a bit. So, no setup time lapse today, because I was already set up, like I said in the intro. I did that little sort of test, did a few test chucks. Obviously I didn't film that because I didn't see any point in getting all the camera out, because I honestly thought it was going to be impossible to stay. I honestly thought we weren't going to be staying. But yeah, no, cast out, it went out, it stayed there. So happy days, we're out, we're fishing. I've just sent just a 2-hook clip down with little size 1s on it, same as I was using at Bonkers Bank last week. Just with some lugworm on, once again exactly the same as I was fishing with last week. There is bass coming out down here, there's flatties. I believe there's still actually the very occasional little codling coming out, so I might add another codling to my brace for this year. We'll see. But I'm fishing with a very nice new rod. Well, it's not new, it's new to me. It's actually very old. I don't know exactly how old this model of rod is, but it's actually it's quite old. Like I said, this is second hand, and it is an Asuka Vega Surf 450. I really like it. I really like it. It casts. Let me just get around behind you. I'm having to keep the tripod quite low today because of the wind. It'll blow it over, but it casts like a bloody gun. Honestly, it's just gone. It really is. Stunning rod. All I've done, really narrow diameter, is I've just put some shrink wrap around the base, and I've put me. Where's the reel? Is the reel in shot? Where's the reel? I can't see it. There it is. And I've put my casting cannon on. But yeah, absolutely really nice rod, really light. When you've got it in your hand, it's a 4.5 metre. When you've got it in your hand, it doesn't feel like you've got a 4.5 metre on. You can tell it's a little bit old school, because the first eye, instead of being a wider eye, a bigger eye like you usually got on your Conti rods, instead of it being a big wide eye sort of down here somewhere, it's another sort of couple of foot up the rod, and it's a really small eye. And I'm pointing and gesturing and showing all this stuff, and I don't even think you can see it. But it's a hybrid tip, so it's got a fair bit of casting power to it. It's going to be one of those days distinguishing between wind and tide and fish biting is going to be very difficult. It's a hybrid tip, so it's got a fair bit of flex, so it's very soft. It's a very good match rod, but it can cast up to 270 grams. You don't see these, they don't make them anymore, which is a real shame. But man, is it nice. It's a really narrow diameter. The blank on this is amazing. So yeah, if you get the opportunity to snap one up at a good price, I would, to be perfectly honest. Not that I'm advertising, but yeah, I'm really impressed with it, really happy with it. I think, to be honest, I'm just going to fish with one rod today. I was going to send a big bait out, but I think it's redundant, and we'll see. If that wind dies down, I might get the second rod out, but the other rod I've brought is the Fury, which I will really struggle with the sensitive tip on that. I will really struggle to be able to tell any difference. I think it'll bounce all over the shop, but we might give it a go. We'll see how we're doing towards sort of high water. Question, not asked one for a while. When you're putting your rod in your tripod on your sort of holder up here, do you put your rod inside the holder or under it? I suppose it depends whether you're a striker or whether you just pull into it, but I rather have it underneath. But yeah, I am blown away that that little lead's holding bottom in this sea. I am genuinely blown away. I honestly got here and I just went, oh man, it's going to be either, you know, unfishable or just an absolute nightmare, you know, having to recast every 4 or 5 minutes. But no, it's holding. I'll just have a quick chat with Blaine. What are you going with, Blaine? A flapper? Yeah. Oh, Wessex.
One up, one down, flapper.
With a running ledger?
Wouldn't be bothered to cast.
You're feeling that rough, are you? Did it come back again? Are you going to be chumming water in a bit? Bless him, a bit delicate. That's why I don't drink anymore. No, I do drink, I just rarely drink. I'll give you a quick update on what's going on in life these days, guys, because there may be a break in videos. The wind just picked up a little bit there. There may be a slight break in videos. I'm hoping to hear some positive news on Monday with regards to an offer we've put in on a house. And also, as regular viewers will know, I'm also going back to the office on Monday, so tomorrow. Which is going to mean commuting to Leeds, which is going to put up my cost of living massively. Which is why we're moving. So put an offer in. We just need to hope and pray it gets accepted. Hoping to hear that on Monday, so keep your fingers crossed for me. Although chances are, actually, by the time this video goes out, we probably will have already heard. I think there might be something little on that. But yeah, my plan is to get this video out on Monday, so fingers crossed we've already heard, and fingers crossed it's good news. But if the move does happen, it is going to probably put a pause on the videos for a little bit. That was definitely a knock. Someone's knocking at the door. That wasn't a wave or wind. Could have been one wave. Could have been one wave hitting the line, I suppose. I don't know if you guys can see the rod tip. It's very high up. No, I'm not going to be able to get. I'm going to struggle to get the rod tip into view for you guys, at least from this angle. The problem being, as like I say, it's about the wind and not wanting the wind to blow the camera over. As I said many times, I didn't buy this camera, so I can't afford to replace it. See if I bring it up here, if it's any better for you. The other thing I like about the Vega is it's in the channel colours. You're not really going to see much from this angle, are you? But the other thing I like about the Vega is it's in the channel colours, yellow and black. Although I use green on my font. yeah, yellow and black I'm going to convert to when I do a new startup, a new intro sequence and a new end credits sequence. So yeah, I've waffled on for long enough. I'll put you on rod tips and we'll have a chill out for a bit. But, however, before I do that, I just want to say welcome to the flurry of new subscribers. I advertised my first video in in fact in over a year. I advertised my first video the other day and had a very positive effect on the channel. So I just want to say welcome to the new subscribers. If you've only come in off the back of that video, let me just say, I don't always have a day like I had in that video. That really was a red letter day for me, but I show the true side of fishing. But yeah, if you're not already subscribed and you're watching this and you've made it this far into the video, come on, you're 15 minutes in, press that subscribe button. Right, I'll see you in a bit. Well, so far guys, I mean, I'm so genuinely shocked the leads are holding bottom. I'm still in shock that it's holding. But so far, nothing. So far, all quiet on the western front. Well, a couple of bites, I think. Hopefully they'll have shown up on the time lapse. There's a couple of bites, struck into a couple. But as Blaine and I was just discussing with Blaine a minute ago, I'm going to bring this in for a change anyway. So I'm using this as sort of match practice once again. Sort of rapid bait changes and things like that for the match, because it's me, Blaine, and another lad that are meant to be fishing it match. So, you know, the more practice I can get in, the better. As the conditions are forecast to be much the same as this one, as today. So, I say forecast, but it's, you know, it's a similar time of year. It should be roughly the similar type of tides. I know a lot of the regular match fishermen that I know have said they're not fishing it because of the time of year. It's just not their favourite time of year to participate in matches. I've been invited to fish the Smoothie Open, but at the moment I don't think I'm going to fish that. I need more practice fishing for smoothies, and whilst a lot of you are going to be saying, well Russ, if you go fish a match with some big, you know, guys who regular fish for smoothies or know what they're doing more with smoothies, then they're going to share the knowledge at the match, and you're quite right. You're quite right. But with a 20 quid buy-in and 3 kids at home and a dog, a 20 quid buy-in on a match just to learn stuff is a big ask. And sort of once again, it wouldn't make a video because I'd be concentrating on the fishing. And it's not just the buy-in for the smoothie fishing, it's sort of the baits. The baits are expensive. But yeah, the one thing I'm noticing when I'm bringing these baits in, these worms in, is every time the top hook is destroyed, the bottom hook so far is showing no signs of being touched. So I think the knocks that I'm getting, I think they are on the top hook. The sea does look good for a bass. I think I've seen some in the surf, so I think they are out there. I mean, it's not hard to spot a flash of silver in this milk chocolate coloured water. You know, so when you do see them, it's pretty obvious. Oh, I've not set my lead legs, and it definitely won't hold bottom if I don't set them. In fact, let's see. I don't know if it'll come out. Well, let's see about getting a cast with this rod in camera, just so that I can watch it myself in slow motion to have a look at the action, because it feels marvellous. The action on it feels really good. So let's see if I can capture it. I don't know if I can, but we'll give it a go. I really am over the moon with this. Just the same as I am with the pen. The Cinetic's a great rod, the Fury's a great rod. But this sort of is my first true hybrid tip. One thing I don't like about where we're currently fishing is I can't put my legs in position. It feels unnatural to cast from such a small base. But it's getting out there, it's getting far enough. So hopefully I managed to catch some of the rod action in that video, in that clip. And I'll try to catch a bit more again next time. As we push further back, I should be able to get a better line of sight. All right, where are we? Where are we? There we are. So yeah, as we push back, I should be able to get a better line of sight on the rods. On the rod tip as I'm casting. It's just while we're on the steps, I suppose I could have walked back to the ramp and stood on the ramp for that last cast, but it's just a little bit too high, and the high with every step up the wind seems to increase by about 3 or 4 miles an hour, so just being that little bit lower down seems to be making a world of difference. Now I would rather have a running ledger rig on, but just to sort of mitigate some of the noise that'll be on the line, on the hook ends, of being a fixed rig. But I probably wouldn't be able to cast a non-clipped down rig much past about 20 yards in this weather. But yeah, we've definitely seen a couple of bites. I don't think Blaine's seen much of anything, but I think he's struggling to concentrate. Let's just give him a hand a second. I left it filming that entire time I was down there, didn't I? I have a lot of editing to take out there. Did I? I don't know. Are you still filming? Yeah, 20 minutes. God almighty, it's fogged up somewhat rotten there. I'm going to have to get a polarised or tinted lens or something. It's fogging up. I wonder if some moisture's got in there. Well, the sand's worked its way underneath the lens cap and it's causing some issues, I wonder. Once again, I've seen a couple of knocks. Oh, I can't get... This reel seat feels loose. I have to have a look at that. I don't want to get wet today. Well, I don't know. Like, it feels a little bit heavy, but new rod in it. I don't know what it feels like when it's got a fish on. Obviously, I know what a fish feels like. No, a load of weed. Load of weed. That's just come off. That's all right then. Load of weed on weight. Right, just before I recast this, or rebait it, recast it, just move a little bit further back again. I'm only doing sort of one step at a time because we're not that far off high tide. Yeah, it's not a great deal for you guys to see, unfortunately, today. It's just going to be one of them days. I'm not going to build a load of false suspenseful promises and just, you know, oh, look at this, look at that. Nah, I've had a couple of bites. No takers. They just seem to be playing with it. The wind's washing in a little bit. Weed is washing in a little bit, should I say, but that should drop out after high tide. This bait, neither of these hooks seem to have been touched, whereas last few times the top hook has definitely been munched on. I have got some squid, so I might try some squid, and as sort of we're not struggling to hold bottom and stuff like that, I also might get a second rod out to fish the ebb with. Like I said, the problem is the second rod I brought is the Fury, and as that's got a really soft tip, it's very difficult to fish within adverse conditions. It's very much a summer rod, which is what I bought it for. And then I bought the pen to go and sort of bridge the gap, so I did have two rods for winter. But right, I'm just going to try and capture another cast again because this one's going to be off the ramp. So let me see what I can do with regards to getting an angle for that. Let's pop you back here. Pop you on ramp. Where's the ramp? There's the ramp. Let's see if we can capture a cast. But yeah, I mean, it's not really the sort of type of weather, type of tide to be fishing this mark. It's all wrong, but with the adverse weather conditions, so on and so forth, really didn't want to trek too far. I wanted to stay nice and local, try and keep costs down a little bit. But yeah, today was more about just getting out. I've not seen Blaine for a while. He's a good lad. So when I spoke to him this morning, he's like, I don't care, I'm fishing, I'm up, I'm ready, I'm out. You know, I don't care that the weather's bad. It's like, right, fair enough. Let's pick a venue and make a go at it. And we both sort of said, well, let's not travel too much. Because we did consider driving down to the Fitties and fishing the creek. But the tide is just nowhere near big enough to fish down there. So we decided, you know, let's stay here. we were going to go to a spot that doesn't exist. We were going to go to Kurt's G spot, but that doesn't exist. It's just a fallacy. It's just a rumor. It's not true. It doesn't. It's just, you know, no man can find it. But it's a long walk down the side of the wall, and we didn't want to walk all the way down there to find that the conditions were just too bad and it was unfishable. And in this wind, it could have driven the tide in just far enough to wash us off. And if you get washed off at that mark, you can't get washed back. You're either fishing on a little patch of beach or you're not fishing. So yeah, this time I will remember to put you on time lapse, and I'll speak to you in a little bit. Grab yourself a brew, press that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, grab yourself a coffee or a beer or whatever your chosen beverage is, and we'll do a long time lapse where I'll do some changes and things. Just a very brief interruption here. Blaine's just set a new record for cod. I think it's a new beach record for a codling. Oh,
Scale.
yeah, we'll get scale out for it. We'll get scale out for it in a minute. It's just. I mean, he's fishing with some massive hooks. It's just swallowed up. So I have to give him a minute. Oh, I see eating little crabbies. That were in its mouth, so it gives you an indication of how big it is.
You've got small hands though.
Yeah, I've got tiny hands, me. I'm only 3'2". All right, yeah, there we go. He's not holding it at arm's length. He's got that pressed tight up against his body, he has. There we go. But believe it or believe it not, it is a little coddy. Oh, we've got its good beard and everything. We'll get it back, eh? Only a little one. So, we've managed to get a fish on film this video. It's not mine, but we've got one. I'll pop you back up rod for the time lapse. Love it, love it. Got to have a bit of a laugh, haven't you? Looks like I might have poison touch today. Oh no, there he is again. Is it same one? Is it same fish?
Yeah.
You never took it off, did you? Blaine's just got himself another little codling. I've still got nothing. I've had a couple of... So far, I've had nothing. I've had a few bites, but nothing. I mean, that bite that Blaine just had, little codling, was blatant. His rod were going like the clappers. Mine, not so much as a sniff. Thing is, he's on one of my bloody rigs now and all. Sod's law, isn't it? Oh, for God's sake, we're fogged up again, aren't we? Sorry. It's not a great deal I can do about moisture in the air when you're at the seaside, is there, I suppose. Oh, the two fellas that were setting up down there are about to go out. Oh, you brought it to show, have you? Is it codlins?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Another little codling for Blaine. Say, I've got the poison touch. I ain't got the poison touch, I've got new rod curse, haven't I? I'm quite sure I've lost one. I'm quite sure in the last time lapse I lost one. Either that or something had a go at it as I was reeling it in, but didn't take the hook. So only adaptation I've made is I've just put a couple of silicone beads on just to stop my baits from shooting up the hook so much, or in case they are shooting up the hook. I'm not sure that they are, but I thought I'd give it a go. So I just put a couple of beads on. It's the only thing I can think of is my worms were going up hook a little bit, and they're going at the worms, and then as I'm reeling in, the worm's sliding back down, giving the illusion that, you know, it was always in the right place. So that was my only thought. So I've just put a couple of silicone beads on. I mean, yeah, one of them's glow in the dark, one of them's glittery, but they're just there as a stopper really more than anything else. I'm not using them as an attractor or out like that. They're just there as a stopper. But yeah, so far 2-0 to Blaine. I've seen 3 or 4 bites, none of which have developed into anything. And like I said, that last reeling just sort of 4 or 5 minutes ago felt as though something either had to go at it while I was reeling in, or it came off while I was reeling in. Oh, that was a little tug. But so far, new to me, rod curse. 2 cod to Blaine. 2 little codlings. Oh, that might be something. That might be something. You know, I'd go for anything right about now. A flatty, a rockling, a codling, a bass. I'd be happy with anything just to get past the new rod curse. Kind of regretted actually. I was going to go set up the other side of Blaine just so I could sit on the beach as opposed to on the stairs. I'm regretting I didn't now. It seems to be that side's the better of the two. This tide was supposed to be in an hour ago, and it's still coming. there is little movements on that rod tip now that do suggest fish activity. We've not seen any signs of crabs yet. But obviously new rod, have to learn how the rod responds to bites, how it shows bites, all that kind of thing. Ah, yeah, I didn't want to get wet today. But yeah, I'd just like just where's my trained dolphin, eh, when I need it? Where's my tamed dolphin, as Gandalf would say? Just, yeah. But we're now, well, we should have been well over an hour into the ebb by now. You know, I'd be thinking we'd be normally packing up by now. But yeah, don't know whether it's the wind holding the tide in or what. We'll find out, because if the wind dies back, the tide will just disappear. The wind has definitely calmed down a bit, quite massively. I was tempted to get my other rod out, but I haven't really bought. I thought I'd put some crabs in my box this morning. I thought I could perhaps send some some crab baits out, but I didn't put them in. I brought me squid, but I didn't put any crabs in. So the squid will stay vat packed, and that'll go back home into the freezer. How do, guys? Well, I was hopeful. Now then, have you turned off? No. I was hopeful that some of the, or I am hopeful that some of them bites have shown up on video, because as per usual for me, lots of little knocks, no takers. I seem to do better on the beaches than I do on the walls now. But so Blaine's had 2 little codlins. I mean, I'm getting lots of knocks. I'm getting interest. But just nothing developing, nothing turning into fish. They are out there. There's a couple of other anglers. Some of the fellas down the side of me there, they are getting similar results. They're getting lots of little knocks and not turning into bites. You know. And then you've got Blaine here. Oh, you know. He hasn't even got the strength to stand and fish. But no, it's all in all, you know, alright. You know, it's not been a stonking session with hundreds of fish. In fact, I've not had one yet. And we are getting close to last cast because I'm running out of bait. But, you know, this is not, you can't have a session like I did last week every time, can you? See, I don't know if that's going to have shown up, but just little knocks, but no takers. But I've just cast into a different area, an area I've been avoiding all afternoon, really, because I know when I bring it in, there's some big rocks. There's a couple of old lengths of wood out there, a couple of posts. I've been avoiding casting over there. But as we're coming towards the end of the session, you know, I thought I'd risk it and see if there's any fish over there. There's a few more features in the water, shall we say. So hopefully it'll provide fruitful and I won't just lose my gear. But yeah, I've got to be honest, based on the tide report and the weather report, I thought we'd have gone home by now. The tide should have been, you know, well out there now. But it's not, it's hanging about. So we're still here, we're still fishing. I'm going to end up using Blaine's bait at this rate. So I am down to the last few scraps that are in bottom at wrap now. But hey ho, soldier on we shall. You've just had a really long time lapse. I thought I'd come back and say, you know, see how you're doing. See what's occurring. But yeah, I do think I might have lost one, or I might have, like I say, I think I've already said on video, I think as I was reeling in, I think I had something to have a go at taking one. But other than that, it's a constant little knocks. But it's new rod curse, isn't it? But this Asuka will become a more regular rod on my channel. Finally decided to get up and change his worms. Bless him. You're not, you're just wade. There is a fair bit of it out there. You're in. Wade. I think, to be honest, I've got a strong suspicion that all these little knocks that I'm seeing on my line is just weed washing into the line. Have you found the only snag on the beach? Have you found the only snag out there? I think it's more likely that what I'm seeing, it isn't bites and it's just weed brushing against the line. I have another couple of casts. Blaine's just given me his worms. I'll flick you guys back on time lapse and I'll just speak to you in a bit. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Nope. Yeah, didn't film it. Gutted. It didn't record. Oh well. I've got a witness here. Yeah. I just had a little bass. Oh, gutted that didn't record. Twice I've done that. Oh, screw you. So anyway, at least I know it's not a blank. New rod curse is gone. Now it's only my fault and I can't blame the rod. Look, it stuck me. There's the proof. I'm bleeding. Oh, gutted. Twice I've done that. Twice I've done that. Anyway, I'll get it rebaited and reshot. Your rod bag just fell off. I'll get it rebaited and reshot. But yeah. Ah dear. Yeah, it's twice I've done that. Not today, but I did it at Bonkers Bank thinking, fecking hell, I've missed my only fish on video. But then I had a good session, so it was all right. Happy days. Say, unfortunately, I cocked up and didn't press record. Oh, but I know it was not a blank.
Right, have you a message for that next weekend?
Yeah, I do.
Where's the bus off for that?
Yeah, I think I'm looking at Hut-off Car Terrace. So I want to take kids because Rose has been trying to come for weeks.
Have you a message?
All right, speak to you later. So yeah, so I was about to call it a day. Oh, that bass cut me more than I thought it did. So I'm going to go back out. I'm going to stay a bit longer. Blaine's just gone home. He's feeling rough, bless him. I've got to say, I think one of the reasons he's coming is because he agreed to pick up the bait for me. So rather than leave me hanging, he's still come. I think if I'd have gone for my own bait, I think he would have thought twice, which I can't blame him. But he said, try nipping tails off. That's what I did on that last one, and it seemed to make a difference. So we'll do it again, and I'll go off to the side again like I did last cast. Oh, do you know, the position, I've got the positioning on this casting cannon all wrong. And it's just too far up the line. So every time you every time you release it, it's pulling the line off with it. But we'll see if we can bag another one. See if we can bring another one in before we go home. See if we can get another one on video. But I'm well chuffed with this rod. I think it's great. It casts lovely. It's good in, I mean, it's adverse conditions really. I would have thought that this tip would have struggled a bit with these winds, but it's doing all right, it's doing well, and it casts a fair weight, so happy days. Yeah, that cut is actually a lot bigger than I thought it was. Still, we'll soldier on, eh? We'll soldier on. Oh, I'm gutted I didn't catch that on video. But I know it's done. I know it's done. I'm sure it was recording. Oh well. If it's there, it's there. If the footage isn't, it isn't. There's nothing I can do about it. Hopefully the time lapse will at least show me bringing it in, because the time lapse was recording as I brought it in. So with a little bit of luck, we'll hit another one. I thought about photographing it as well before I put it back, because it was a really, I mean, I like bass. I look pretty. I mean, I'm what they call a silver stacker anyway. I buy and trade silver bullion. So a bass to me, it's like, I'm like a bit of a magpie. Oh, shiny, you know what I mean? So a bass to me is a stunning fish. But that one was really clean, really healthy, quite young, probably 3 or 4 years old. It was about 30-ish centimetres long. Really strong, really strong. I was holding on to it quite tightly, it was really strong. It was fighting me the entire time, so I rushed to get it back. And then I did my usual walk back up to the camera, and the camera didn't have the little red flashing lights on. But that's the way it goes sometimes. To be honest, I did toy with the idea of not even bringing the camera today. I was completely all for just having a session out, not recording. But one of the main things I wanted to do really was give you guys a heads up with regards to what's going on, and the fact there might be. I said my plan is to get out again next weekend. I'm planning hopefully either Huttoft or Mablethorpe or Sutton. It's a big tide. If budget allows, then I plan on going down south a little bit. But if budget doesn't allow, I might head back to Bonkers Bank again. If the weather keeps going the way it's going, it's possible it'll bring the smoothies in early. And I do like a bit of smoothie fishing. I mean, it's better in summer, when, I'll be honest, when the evenings are nice and warm and chilling on a beach in a nice warm evening. There's not many better places to be. I'd love to find somebody else who'd be willing to drive, because to be perfectly honest, I'd love to chill out with a beer down there one day. But unfortunately, I'm usually the driver, so the missus doesn't drive, so she can't drop me off, although she probably wouldn't come back for me. Like I said the last time we were talking, guys, I think a lot of the little thumps and knocks that I've been feeling have possibly just been weed rubbing across the line. In that last cast, bringing that bass in, I left it, I didn't leave it on, but I gave it sort of 30, 45, maybe about a minute, and the line was still, the rod was still shaking, so I brought it in. Whereas that, if it showed up on camera, was a little knock and then a stop. Whereas with that last one, like I say, it was checking for for a minute before I reeled it in. If it gives me another little shake, I'll check it. You just got to be conscious that there's not much water out there now. Probably a maximum of 4 or 5 feet, which is enough for the schoolies. The rod is still shaking ever so slightly. I'll just see if I can feel anything. Maybe. Let's have a look. No, nothing. Definitely not. Not unless it's swimming straight at me. No, I can see both baits. Oh. Right, let's put a couple of fresh worms on, we'll reshoot that. That was a promising little knock, that was. And seeing as Blaine's give me his worms, I'll stick another couple on. And we'll reshoot it. I'll put some fresh ones on, take the old ones off. Sometimes I leave the old ones on for a while, but I think sometimes actually maybe to your detriment. But I don't know. You know, these videos are all about thinking out loud and sort of discussing things with the community and getting feedback from you guys, and sort of things like leaving the old worm on. You get very conflicting information, very conflicting opinions on it. So, you know, just mix it up as you work your way through the session, really, is all you can do. But I've said it before, I said it in the last video and I'll say it again. The addition of the tanks at George's has changed the bait. It's like completely different bait. It's worlds apart from anything else I've had. I mean, granted, okay, I've not been to 1,000,001 bait shops. I've been to a few, but yeah, since he's got the tanks up and running, and he's now actually added another tank. He's added a ragworm tank, which should make his rag absolutely ballistic. Because wild rag, I mean, I'm pretty sure that, like many other people, he gets his rag in from a farm. But then once it's been in the sea water, oh, it's, you know, and you know, once it's revitalised with a bit of proper food in its belly, I think it makes the world a difference. But yeah, the problem I've got with this casting cannon is it's sat too far forward. So I need to look at options on that, because the reel seat is, it's not backward. I say it's not backwards. It screws down from the top as opposed to up from the bottom. So I'm saying I'm going to have a look at that. Now, unfortunately, I've just covered it all in my last few pieces of shrink wrap, so I'll have to look at alternatives for the casting cannon, about different ways of mounting it. I mean, there is the option of always just putting it on after I've put the reel on, but that wouldn't be ideal. And I didn't bring some electrical tape. At least I don't think I did. I might have some. Annoyingly, if I'd have stuck at what I was going to do, which was keeping sort of recording all the footage live and then speeding it up and slowing it down over the course of a video, I'd have had that bass on video. But c'est la vie. Nothing you can do about it, is there? Nice swathe of dark water washing in. Hopefully that's where they are. Hopefully they're following that, because I'm in it now. Or it might. No, my bad. It was just cloud cover. It's just a shadow. For God's sake. Hey, diddle diddle. I'm starting to get hungry now though. Which, I mean, once the tide's off the bottom of these steps, it really does zoom out, so, you know, I've not got much time left where the water, she is fishable, or worth fishing. So, you know, we will persevere as long as we can. I'm not going to follow it out. A lot of people would say, well, why don't you follow water out? Well, it's an option, but it changes from sand to silt to mud. And the mud, realistically, what I'm saying is, it's treacherous to walk on that far out, and it doesn't really deepen. Wow, that was a bite and a half, wasn't it? That was a good bite. So they are out there, they're definitely biting. They're just really shy about it today, which I suppose they will be in shallow water. Anyway, shall we have a look at that? In fact, well, I'm going to have a feel, see if I can still feel something on it. No, can't feel anything on there. But that was a smack and a half. Hopefully for once I've actually got the rod tip in shot and we'll have that on film. Normally I would have said a smack like that on a tide like this, in shallow water like that, was a bird hitting the line, but there's no birds. Well, there is, but they're not nowhere near my line. I'm going to have to come stand on that side again because the sun in my eyes is not fun. But yeah, that was a whack. That was a real whack. Yeah. It might still be on there. It could have just been a flatty going swimming up and sitting on it. You know what, with the shortness of tide we've got, with the shortness of water, I'm going to have a look. I'd rather bring it in and recast it with some fresh bait on. It's not heavy enough. It's not heavy enough to have a fish on. Maybe some weed. I'll see, because my baits will pop any second now. Yeah, there's one, there's two. Yeah, there's nothing on that. Summit hit that quite hard. The bottom worm's destroyed. Summit definitely hit that quite hard. Let's get some fresh worm on and get back out. Yeah, I really am running low on unusable worm now. This could very well be last cast. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of extras on. But yeah, something hit that bottom up quite hard. With any luck, that'll be on film, that. The top hook's been kind of decimated as well. Not much left of that worm either. This could very well be last cast looking at the worms. There's not much left in there now. And looking at the water actually. Right, I'm going to reel in, and I'm going to send a fresh bait, and that will be my last cast. Because that cast wasn't very good, and it's not far enough out to be in any amount of water. It says just struggling to get the lead to pop. I never saw a bite on it. It's not to say there wasn't one. Doesn't feel like there's anything on it. There's one bait, there's two baits now. Nothing on it. Right, strip these worms off, put some fresh ones on. The last ones of the session. Nice little kebab for a bass here, so fingers crossed. But yeah, just messaged the missus telling her that I forgot, and I missed getting a fish, my only fish of the session, on camera. And she just messaged saying, just blame your head. I'm saying Blaine was hanging out of his ass when he got here. But I woke up with a stonking migraine, and she says blame that, so I shall. Well, I'd say I woke up with it. I went to bed with the start of a migraine, hoping to sleep it off. No joy. Woke up with it worse than it was. But I took some ibuprofen. I had something to eat, as you should with ibuprofen, and I seem to be okay now. So I can't blame the migraine. It was just cold fingers. I just didn't press the button properly. But guys, this is my last cast, and as I normally do, I'm going to call it a day there. So unless this last cast brings a fish in, and unless there's a photo on the screen right now, that's going to be all from me. Let me just say again, in fact, let me cast this and I'll do an outro properly. I'm probably going to get wet feet doing this. Spent all session saying I don't want to get wet, and then I'm taking a risk coming down onto the beach. Yeah, there we go. Oh, wet feet. Oh well. Come on, just give me a chance to cast this. You're not gonna, are you? I'll just get wet feet, bugger it. Oh. As is the norm, my best cast of the session comes at the last cast of the session. So, yeah. Okay, so as I've already said, there'll have been a picture on screen if I have caught another fish between then and now, or between now and packing up. But once again, let me just welcome all the new subscribers. I hope you enjoy it here. I hope you enjoy what I do. I do appreciate it. I'm on that last push to that 1,000 subscribers mark now. Any help, any and all help will be appreciated. There's plenty of videos on my channel, fishing beach marks, fishing wall marks, fishing, I don't know whether you class this as a beach or a wall, it's a bit of a hybrid. There's one on a pier. In fact, well, no, there's one on a pier. Yeah. So, please do like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the videos. And as always, stay safe, tight lines, and I'll see you later.